This next video is brought to you by Susan Bowerman, and she's going to help us decipher how to pick better on a menu. And just by reading the menu, we can make better choices to keep our calorie count low. How cool is that? So sit back and watch.
Can you decipher a menu? Well, today I'm going to show you 2 restaurant items made with chicken and pasta that sound very similar, but you might be surprised at the calorie difference. I'm Susan Bowerman, registered dietitian, and learning how to read a menu carefully is so important when you're trying to eat well or manage your weight. So today I'm going to show you 2 dishes that I picked up from my local restaurant that sound very similar. One's called penne with chicken, and the other one's called Caribbean chicken with penne and spices. So it sounds pretty similar on the menu, but let's look at the description. This dish over here is described as having chicken, asparagus, mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, marsala cream sauce, and a dusting of Parmesan cheese. The other dish is called chicken with penne, and it's described as having asparagus and tomatoes and mushrooms, and it's dusted with some herbs and some spices. So they're similar in ingredients, but quite different when you start to look at the calorie count. My penne with chicken dish clocks in at almost 1,900 calories. A lot of it, of course, is coming from the cream sauce. That should be your tip-off. The portion size is pretty good, but it's also giving you 23 teaspoons of fat. Now, the marsala cream sauce, as it was described on the menu, we know is going to add some calories because it's creamy and it's rich. But the other thing is the dish is called penne with chicken, which indicates that there's a lot more penne than chicken. And if you look at these 2 plates, you can see that that's true. So even though we have asparagus in both dishes and mushrooms in both dishes, there's a big difference in terms of how much starch and fat we have in this dish. My Caribbean chicken and penne has similar ingredients: asparagus, mushrooms, chicken, penne. It has tomatoes and it has some herbs and spices rather than the cream sauce. It's really not that much different than the size of the portion in my other chicken dish. And this chicken dish here has only 569 calories. It's significantly less. It only has 20 grams of fat. That's 4 teaspoons versus the 23 we had in the other dish. One of the other things I want you to notice is there's an ample amount of chicken here. This dish has 49 grams of protein, which is plenty for a meal. But the other thing you'll notice is it has a little bit less of the starch of the pasta, and it has more of the vegetables. And that's just such a great way to give you more volume without having a lot of extra calories, is, decrease the fat, decrease the starch a little bit, pump up the vegetables. So when you look at these 2 dishes and when you're looking at your menus, one of the things is to look carefully at your descriptions. If you see cream sauces, if you see things that are battered or fried, you kind of know what's going to tip you off to high calories. It's always your choice when you're going out to a restaurant, but I think it's best to go and be informed. If you decide that you really want this creamy dish, just know how much you're eating, know how many calories you're eating, how much fat you're eating. Maybe you save it for a special occasion or you share with a friend, but know that oftentimes there are healthier options.
Thank you, Susan, for sharing that with us. I mean, that was a pretty incredible visual to see the difference between the 2 plates and the description on the menu, and teaching us how to learn that so that we can choose better when we go to a restaurant. Because we often say to our clients, I mean, life happens. It's not always about being on a strict diet. I mean, what we do with Herbalife is a meal plan, and it's a for life thing. In life, you have to go to restaurants, and you do go out and different things like that. So we can pick wisely. Going to a restaurant is not an excuse to have a cheat meal. If you want to have your cheat meal a little later in the week for whatever reason, you can pick wiser. So thank you for the lesson. And again, those are different things that we coach people on how to achieve their healthy weight goals. So if you want to get started, please fill out the free eval form below so we can get to know you a little bit better and we can personalize a plan for you. Thanks.